April showers bloom May flowers. But we live in California, and rain is not a common occurrence. Thus, it is the end times. Plus, we're in quarantine and I'm bored as hell.
What is up, my dudes and dudettes? Today we're going to be working on the Mini Cooper. I've gotten a lot of requests for this guy. Everybody thinks that I've sold it. It is not sold yet, at least. We've got some work to do on the interior. We're in quarantine, it's raining, so I'm going to be pulling it into my nice patio area here where we're going to have some nice dry space to work on the car. Some of the stuff that I'm going to be addressing today is the interior. We've got a drooping headliner, a broken glove box, which is really common on the R53s, and I think some of the newer Mini Coopers as well, and another few small things here and there. So let's get ahead and do that, move it up to the dry space, and get started on working on the car. The glass didn't move up. The battery might be dead. I've been trying to move the car about once a week just so the battery doesn't die and the fluids stay, moving through all the lines, but I think this time it's finally died on me. Oh, everything turns on. Yeah, she's not starting. Alright, I'm gonna have to jump the car. I think this is what I get for using the Mini as storage for my other project car parts. That's karma for you. Alright, the cool thing about the Mini is it's actually in the trunk. A lot of people don't know this about Mini Coopers. Got my little jumper box here. A little simple thing I use all the time is red, not dead. So red goes first. Actually, now that I think about it, I might confuse that with red dead. Okay, next up we put the black. It's pretty funny how I have Subaru gloves in the back of my Mini, but that's what I got. Alright, let me flip this guy's switch on. Let's see if she starts. Alright, let's see if she starts. Make sure it's in neutral so I don't fly into my garage. There we go. Up and purring. I miss the sound of this car. Alright, first off, gotta turn this off. Take them off in reverse order. So black comes off, red not dead, and we're good. I want to show you guys what the interior looks like with the drooping headliner. We can see some of it over here. You can see it's like sagging down. I don't know how I'm going to access that yet. Also, we have it directly in front of the driver, and this is bugging the life out of me. This should be really easy because I might be able to just point the nozzle behind there, spray it a bit, wait, and then push it up against the rest of the headliner. But this rear portion, I'm not sure how I'll access that yet. I'm hoping I can remove this guy because it does seem to be a separate unit. Also, as you guys can see, I don't have a glove box. The glove box handle on my R53 broke. It's a very common issue with these cars. Unfortunately, you can't buy the actual handle assembly separately from Mini. What I actually ended up doing was going to a junkyard and pulling a glove box from a similar model Mini Cooper. I got lucky with this because that ended up costing me about $20 and an hour of my time as opposed to $200 that people are selling these glove boxes for online. I didn't want to spend $200 on another glove box and have the handle break on me again. It's such a simple plastic piece that ends up snapping on these glove boxes. I don't know why Mini just didn't go ahead with like a small metal clip or something in there. It would have prevented these issues for a lot of users. With this issue, you'll either have one of two problems. You either can't open the glove box, or it stays open all the time and it's flopping around when you're driving, making noise and all that, and you can't use it as storage. Just one quick thing to note, if you are going to be changing your entire glove box, you're not going to be able to use the valet key. The reason is pretty obvious. It's either not going to have a matching keyhole to the one that you have set for your entire car, or it's not going to have a keyhole at all. The one that I picked up doesn't have a keyhole, so I'm okay with that. I never valet my cars. It's just one thing to keep in mind. What I've done so far is I removed this little piece. It's a cover that goes up here. The reason why I removed it is so I can access the drooping headliner in this area as well as this area. Otherwise, I would probably have to remove these plastic pieces, and that's a lot more work compared to this. This guy, I just popped it right off. We're using the trusty Permatex headliner adhesive that I've been using for all of my projects, carpet work. This stuff is amazing, so I've had good experiences with it so far, and I'm going to continue using it for all this headliner. Now the plan is to pull that back a bit and spray into the opening, which should, using the propellant in the can, get all that adhesive into these corners. I'm going to be really careful not to overdo it because this is a thin material and I don't want it just seeping through it and causing this nasty mess. This is it has like a really small slit in it, so it'll let you do precise sprays. Just shake the can a bit. Be careful not to get it on the surface because this stuff is very difficult to clean off. Now ideally you would be able to get this on both surfaces before attaching them, but since this material is so thin, I think that just having it on the headliner, not the cloth part, the foamy part, should be enough. This can it's really well designed, so you don't have to be too close. It actually says in the instructions to be 6 to 8 inches away from the spot that you're spraying, and it works perfect in this case because I don't have the luxury of being too close to the actual spot that I want to get to. Now that I've finished spraying everything, I'm going to wait about 5 minutes. While I wait for the headliner adhesive to dry, I'm going to show you guys the new and the old glove boxes that I picked up. This one has a bit of scratches. I think those are just surface level, and I'm hoping I'd be able to clean those off. This is the old one. You can see it doesn't open. What happens is there's a little plastic clip back there that breaks, and once that breaks, this thing becomes essentially useless. Okay, we've got the moment of truth here. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna push it from the outside towards the center area because that centerpiece that goes over this will cover up any extra creases or things like that. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna try to tuck it in under the plastic as I go along. So far it's looking good. The spots that I've pushed have been staying up against the rest of the foam padding behind it very well. So I'm going to continue that, and let's see. Making sure that as I'm pushing, if there are any creases that develop, I push those in and pull the fabric back. Wow, I'm honestly surprised at how well this is working out. Usually stuff doesn't go this well. Cool. Make sure to contour around the edges. Push that material down. Beautiful. Very nice. Okay, that side is done. Now let's push this side. Overall, I'm surprised at how easy this was to do. It was very quick. Just had to pull the material aside, spray it with the Permatex. All this will cost you is about a little bit of your time and the can of Permatex itself, which is under 15 bucks. Now that I've seen how well it works with the rear end of the car, I'm gonna go to the front where that sagging headliner is right in front of the driver. Same simple fix. I'm gonna spray it onto the foam side of the headliner, wait a few minutes, and then push the fabric up against the foam. Now I'm gonna let that sit for a bit. I'm not too worried about any of the extra adhesive that may have fallen onto the dashboard because I do have adhesive remover. If you don't have this or adhesive remover, I'll link them down in the description box below where you can pick them up yourself from Amazon. Now that the adhesive is dried, it'll look kind of like this. It's tacky and ready for me to push from the inside towards the outer edge of the headliner. I want to be careful with this because this is right in front of the driver and it's the most noticeable spot. Very nice. With that tucked in, no more sagging headliner. Two things to note before you put the new glove box in. One is the wire for the glove box light right here. And two is this little duct. I guess these Mini Coopers duct air into the inside of the glove box to keep it cool. It's gonna plug in right there. Now thankfully there is a small access point underneath. I think I'll be able to access that once the glove box is in, so I won't have to worry about that one. The only thing to do is plug this in first and make sure that the light works. Mocking up the glove box to make sure that everything lines up. The main screw that holds it in place is the one back there. After that I'm going to attach the ones on the sides and then the ones above it. Right there, there's 2 I believe. Yeah, there we go. For a total of 5 screws. Now, they are not standard Phillips head screws. You're going to need a T20 head for your screwdriver. These are not standard screws. This is a very simple install. No special tools needed outside of that T20 bit. After everything has been tightened up, it's a working glove box. Not the prettiest, but it does the job. I think that's it for today's video, guys. There wasn't much to do in terms of taking care of the Mini. Just the sagging headliner and the glove box have been bugging me. Now that those are fixed, I want to give the car a good detail, make sure it's nice and clean inside and out, and then go for a drive. This car is a driver's car. It deserves to be driven, and it's kind of sad that it's been sitting for so long, but with the quarantine in place and me having 2 other cars, so this being the 3rd, it just sits for too long. I do have a long-term review for this car coming up soon. I hope. The reason why that's being delayed is because I want to record a canyon segment with me driving through the canyons and giving my impressions of the car's handling dynamics. We have some really great roads here in Los Angeles, and the quarantine has unfortunately brought out kind of the crazies in our area, with a lot of accidents happening in the canyons, people falling off the canyons, crashing into each other, crashing into the side of the mountain. Police activity has kind of boomed in that area, and they're really surveying that area a lot more often than usual. So I want to wait for that to cool down a bit before I record that segment of my review. That being said, I also have a lot of other videos that I'm going to be releasing on the other project car, the AE86. If you haven't been keeping up with that project, you can watch it up here somewhere. I'll have an entire playlist dedicated to that car. I also have a playlist for this car, so you can check it out if you've missed the other videos on my Mini. The 86 has been in the shop for a few weeks, and I will have a video on what's going on with that car, because that's going through a lot of modifications. Everything from the engine to the rear end, the differential, all of that's getting swapped out for nice high-end performance parts. Everything from OS Geekin to Tomei and Toda. So great parts going into that. Stay tuned for that video. It should be coming out soon. As soon as I get that car back. I've been waiting for 2 months now, over 2 months it's been in the shop. I'm kind of rambling on now, so I'll end the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you loved it, subscribe. We're slowly growing. It's still a small channel, but I appreciate all the fans that I have now, and let's keep this community growing. Thank you guys so much. Be well, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.